In our first episode, Sany established a solid foothold in the industry with its concrete machinery, posting an annual revenue of 985 million yuans. Yet despite its thriving business overall, Sany suffered years of continuous losses and faced huge difficulties in the excavator segment. In 2002, all 30 prototypes were written off because of compatibility problems. Global industry giants dominated the excavator market, and Chinese-made models were widely underestimated. How did Sany stage a remarkable comeback against all odds? Preface. Welcome to Zorier. This video took 35 days to compile and polish, with cross-verified research materials created strictly along the timeline. At 12,000 words, it is divided into 3 episodes to analyze Sany Heavy Industries' development stages in detail. Please subscribe and bookmark if you are interested. Phase 3 2003 to 2011, IPO financing and full-scale expansion. 2003, embarking on capital expansion, a share listing. In July, Sany Heavy Industry was listed on the Shanghai Stock Exchange stock code 600,031, becoming the first privately owned enterprise in China's construction machinery industry to go public. The company issued 60 million shares at an offering price of 15.56 yuans per share. Its share price rose to 21.3 yuans on the first trading day, raising a total of 933.6 million yuans. The IPO injected strong capital into Sany's subsequent technological R&D, production capacity expansion, and new business deployment, transforming it from a regional enterprise into a national industry leader. Building on the plateau-specific concrete pumping equipment developed by Yi Xiaogong's team back in 2001, Sany took an active part in major national infrastructure projects including China's Western Development Drive and the Qinghai-Tibet Railway, further consolidating its leading position in concrete machinery. Its road machinery products such as road rollers and motor graders enjoyed steady growth, underpinning the company's diversified development. Meanwhile, Sany proactively developed new product lines including cranes and piling machinery to expand its business scope. In the same year, Sany Group invested and established Beijing Sany Intelligent Manufacturing Technology Co., Ltd. in Changping District, Beijing. Focused on the R&D and production of rotary drilling rigs, the company officially stepped into the piling machinery sector, laying a solid foundation for building a full lineup of construction machinery in the future. Entry into the excavator business. Sany's concrete machinery business thrived, while its excavator division kept bleeding money with no sign of improvement. This stark contrast made the excavator business a much criticized failure within the company. Yet Liang Wengen and his team knew that developing competitive excavators was indispensable for becoming a world-class construction machinery player. On July 30th the same year, Sany Group registered Kunshan Sany Heavy Machinery Co., Ltd. in Kunshan, Jiangsu. The loss-making excavator business was spun off from Sany Heavy Industry and placed under the new subsidiary. An additional investment of over 38 million yuans was injected to sustain excavator R&D. Sany pressed ahead with continuous investment and development. Refusing to be deterred by mounting losses and widespread doubts, the company persisted resolutely in the excavator market. 2004 to 2005, a pioneer in share reform, China's first fully tradable listed company. On June 10, 2005, Sany Heavy Industry completed the split share structure reform, making it the first fully tradable listed company in China, a milestone etched in the history of China's capital market. Before 2005, China's stock market adopted a dual share structure, dividing shares into 2 categories that coexisted for a long time. Tradable shares. Freely tradable on stock exchanges. High and volatile prices, with investors profiting from price differences. Non-tradable shares. Held by the state, state-owned enterprises and corporate entities. Not tradable on the secondary market, only transferable via agreement. Extremely low cost, mostly at the net asset value of 1 yuan per share. Occupied a large proportion, accounting for around 2/3 of total shares at the peak, leading to dominant controlling stakes. To prevent the loss of state-owned assets and guarantee absolute control by founders and major shareholders, a large number of non-tradable shares existed in the market. Under this system, holders of non-tradable shares, who were the actual controllers of enterprises, paid little attention to share price fluctuations, creating a serious conflict of interests with retail investors holding tradable shares. In 2005, China launched a nationwide split share structure reform to transform the dual share system into a market-oriented one, allowing all non-tradable shares to be freely traded. In May of that year, Sany Heavy Industry took the lead in unveiling its reform plan. Holders of non-tradable shares would compensate tradable shareholders by issuing 3.5 additional shares and 8 yuans in cash for every 10 shares held. The plan was approved with an approval rate of 93.44% on June 10 and officially implemented. Sany Heavy Industry thus became the first company with fully tradable shares in China. Dubbed the first share of split share reform, Sany set a national reform benchmark and received comprehensive support from institutional investors, banks, and government policies. This created favorable conditions for its subsequent private placements, credit financing, overseas factory construction, and heavy investment in the excavator business. 2006. On September 20th, Sany launched a 66-meter-long boom concrete pump truck, breaking the world record for the longest boom and earning a Guinness World Record certification. The excavator business was still in its early struggling phase. Industry estimates put its annual sales at roughly 800 units, with an extremely low market share. Its products suffered from poor reliability and a bad reputation. Liang Wengen stated bluntly, "We will always remain a second-tier enterprise if we fail to make competitive excavators." At that time, slow after-sales service and inefficient response were common problems across the construction machinery industry. Breaking industry conventions, Sany drew on the authorized dealer model of the automotive industry and pioneered the exclusive 6-second service system for construction machinery. The first physical 6-second center opened in Guangzhou. The system integrates 6 functions: sales, service, spare parts, survey, school, and showroom. It delivered one-stop comprehensive services covering equipment procurement, daily maintenance, and breakdown repair, solving the industry's long-standing problem of prioritizing sales over after-sales service. A 24-hour customer service hotline was also launched to deliver rapid responses to malfunctions and technical consultations. This innovative service system helped Sany build a solid reputation and differentiated competitive edges. It also accumulated strong service capabilities for the excavator business to break market barriers and achieve leapfrog growth. In the same year, Sany invested in an industrial park in Pune, India, covering 35 hectares with a total planned investment of $100 million. This project marked the official start of Sany's global expansion. 2007. Technological achievements in full bloom. Sany Heavy Industry recorded an annual operating revenue of 9.145 billion yuan, ranking first nationwide in the market share of concrete machinery. Its excavator business made notable progress, with annual sales reaching 1,406 units. Back in 1995, when Sany relocated to Changsha, Liang Wengen made a promise: once the company's revenue hit 10 billion yuan, veteran employees holding bronze commemorative badges could redeem them for 10,000 yuan in cash and a 24,000 pure gold medal. When the goal was achieved decades later, dozens of long-serving employees received 10,000 yuan each as Liang honored his commitment. 2008. Quality upgrade with increased R&D investment. 2008 witnessed a landmark leap in the quality, technology, and reliability of Sany excavators. 1. World-leading positive flow hydraulic system. The new system boosted working efficiency by 8% and cut fuel consumption by 10%, delivering smoother operation and better control. It broke the long-term monopoly of foreign brands in core hydraulic technology. 2. 200-ton heavy excavator. Dubbed China's #1 excavator, as China's largest domestic large-tonnage excavator, it ended foreign dominance in the large excavator segment and proved that Chinese manufacturers were capable of producing high-end heavy equipment. During the Sichuan earthquake relief, more than a dozen Sany excavators operated non-stop for 15 consecutive days, enduring extreme working conditions. As 2008 drew to a close, a historic moment arrived. Sany's excavator business finally turned profitable, generating roughly 200 million yuan in profit for the year. This hard-won breakthrough after a full decade of losses shattered the long-standing monopoly of foreign brands. From then on, Sany kept surging forward and eventually became the undisputed leader in China's excavator market, topping sales rankings year after year. This profit did not come easily. It embodied Liang Wengen's courage to stand firm against overwhelming pressure, as well as the dedication of all Sany staff who stayed committed for a decade. More importantly, it stands as a microcosm of how China's construction machinery industry grew from playing catch-up to taking the lead. Since then, the company has consistently invested over 5% of its annual revenue in R&D. It assembled an international R&D team and recruited top engineers worldwide to fuel technological innovation. 2009. Overseas expansion accelerates. May. Sany Heavy Industry invested 100 million euros to build an industrial park in North Rhine-Westphalia, Germany, which was then the largest investment project by a Chinese enterprise in Europe. October 27, Sany's first overseas production base in India was officially put into operation. The first locally assembled trailer pump rolled off the production line, priced 20% lower than equivalent German products. This was a crucial step in building overseas production capacity. In the same year, Sany's annual excavator sales exceeded 6,000 units, capturing a 6.18% domestic market share. Sany became China's largest excavator manufacturer, surpassing international brands including Caterpillar in the Chinese market. 2010 accelerated rollout of overseas production bases. Sany's production base in Peachtree City, Georgia, USA commenced operation. It mainly produced concrete pump trucks, hydraulic excavators, crawler cranes, and rough terrain cranes, with an annual output of 600 pump trucks, meeting 40% of orders in the high-end North American market. The filming location for Avengers Endgame was Sany's factory in the United States, which was used as the Avengers headquarters in the movie. Construction of a temporary assembly plant in São São Paulo, Brazil started in March. With a total planned investment of $200 million and a floor area of 30,000 square meters, the plant focused on CKD local assembly of excavators and cranes. The first excavator rolled off the production line on November 27. Sany's transformation from a national brand to a global enterprise was regarded as its third venture. Its first venture was establishing a welding materials factory, and the second was relocating to Changsha to enter the machinery industry. This time, Sany upgraded its strategy from simply exporting products to local production and local sales. Major international event. On August 5, a severe collapse occurred at the Sanjos mine in Chile, trapping 33 miners 700 meters underground. Sany's Senior 480R crawler crane was selected for the rescue mission to hoist key rescue equipment and transport rescue capsules. The equipment became a global showcase of Made in China. The Chilean government sent an official letter of thanks to Sany, and China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs also spoke highly of the contribution made by Chinese enterprises. The rescue mission greatly boosted Sany's international reputation and marked a turning point in its global strategy. 2011, the peak, rise as a global giant. On March 11, a magnitude 9.0 earthquake and subsequent tsunami struck Japan, triggering explosions and nuclear leakage at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. On March 19, Tokyo Electric Power Company urgently requested assistance from Sany Heavy Industry. Sany donated a 62-meter concrete pump truck worth $1 million free of charge. Dubbed the Giraffe by Japanese media, the vehicle was used to inject cooling water into the nuclear reactors. It was the longest boom rescue equipment ever used in Japan and served in Fukushima for more than a decade. Widely reported by Chinese and Japanese media, it stood as powerful proof of the reliability of Made in China. Sany received an official thank you letter from Tokyo Electric Power Company and recognition from the Chinese embassy in Japan. 2011 was a pivotal year for Sany Heavy Industry to grow from a Chinese leader into a global construction machinery giant, with remarkable achievements across the board. Annual revenue broke the 50 billion yuan mark, reaching 50.776 billion yuans, with a net profit of 8.649 billion yuans. In China, excavator sales hit 20,614 units, holding a 12.3% market share and ranking number 1 in China's excavator market. The world's largest 3,600-ton crawler crane and the world's longest 86-meter-long boom pump truck were unveiled, setting new global records. Sany made its debut on the Financial Times Global 500 list. This was the climax of Sany's internationalization drive. Liang Wengen topped both the Huron Rich List and Forbes China Rich List with a personal fortune of 70 billion yuans. Starting from humble origins with only 60,000 yuans, he grew Sany into a 100 billion yuans conglomerate. From turning around the loss-making excavator business to building factories across the globe, Liang Wengen fulfilled his early aspiration to serve the country through industry and revitalize China's national manufacturing sector. Sany Heavy Industry secured a position among the world's top-tier construction machinery enterprises in technology, market presence, capital strength, and brand influence, ushering in a new era where Chinese construction machinery companies lead the global industry. Phase 4 2012 to 2018, global mergers and acquisitions and transformation growing pains. From 2012 to 2015, China's construction machinery industry went through a 5-year downturn, plagued by 3 major challenges: plummeting market demand, severe overcapacity, and a surge in credit risks. The growth rate of China's fixed asset investment dropped from 23.8% in 2011 to below 10% in 2015. The real estate industry underwent profound adjustments. The floor area of newly started housing projects fell by 14% from 2014 to 2015, and infrastructure investment lost momentum. Excavator sales, a barometer of the industry, plunged from 178,000 units in 2011 to 56,000 units in 2015, a decline of 68.5%. Demand for core products such as concrete machinery shrank by over 75%. Brutal price wars cut the gross profit margin of products from over 30% to around 15%. Aggressive credit sales policies, including low down payments and zero down payments, led to massive overdue accounts receivable, with the annual turnover rate falling to 1.5 times. Roughly 90% of small and medium-sized construction machinery enterprises were eliminated from the market. Same year, landmark cross-border acquisition. Back in 1998, Sany was trapped by technological bottlenecks and suffered from technology blockades. After 10 years of relentless efforts and technological breakthroughs, the once lagging Chinese company completed the acquisition of its former powerful rival Putzmeister from Germany, affectionately known as the elephant in the industry. Jointly with CITIC Funds, Sany acquired Putzmeister for €324 million. As a world-class concrete machinery brand, Putzmeister possessed cutting-edge core technologies and was on the verge of bankruptcy due to operational difficulties at that time. The full equity acquisition sent shockwaves across the global heavy industry. Through this deal, Sany obtained world-class core technologies, mature overseas sales channels, and a high-end international brand, further cementing its leading position in the global concrete machinery sector. Meanwhile, Sany was caught up in this sensational lawsuit involving the U.S. president. On September 27, then U.S. President Barack Obama issued an executive order to halt a wind power project operated by a Sany affiliate in Oregon, claiming it posed a national security threat. Undaunted, Sany filed a lawsuit against President Obama and the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States (CFIUS), marking the first time a Chinese enterprise sued a sitting U.S. president. The case drew worldwide attention. During the 2013 Chinese New Year, Liang Wengan openly stated that his New Year wish was to win the lawsuit against Obama, reflecting how much he valued the case. Final verdict. On July 15, 2014, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia ruled that the Obama administration had violated procedural justice, and Sany won the case. On November 4, 2015, the two sides reached a full settlement. The U.S. government revoked the enforcement order, and Sany withdrew the lawsuit. This lawsuit became an iconic case in cross-border commercial investment. For Sany, it was a milestone in overseas rights protection. In the United States, it was widely regarded as a classic case demonstrating judicial independence and the separation of powers. Overall, the case saw gains for both the enterprise and the judicial system, while executive power was restrained by the judiciary. Shift our focus back to the Chinese market. Amid the industry reshuffle in China, the Matthew effect became increasingly prominent. The combined market share of the top three players, Sany, XM, and Zoomlion, rose from 45% to over 65%. Overseas business became a vital pillar for Sany during this period. Its overseas revenue ratio climbed from 15% to 35%, helping the company stabilize its overall performance amid the industry downturn. The 5 years from 2015 to 2019 were a critical period for Sany heavy industry to pull through the slump, rebuild strength, and achieve transformation. After suffering its first post-listing losses, the company staged a remarkable turnaround and eventually saw its net profit exceed 10 billion yuan. 2015, fighting for survival. The entire heavy machinery industry was mired in a downturn, and Sany posted its first annual loss since going public. Its revenue halved, profits turned negative, and cash flow tightened. Anxiety spread across the company over its survival prospects. Sany downsized drastically. It scaled back unprofitable businesses, cut redundant staff, and slashed operating costs, putting survival as the top priority. To seek new profit sources, the company explored diversified businesses. It set up a military business division, launched the Sany V8 rugged phone, and ventured into banking, insurance, and financial leasing. Most of these attempts did not pan out in the end, but they were desperate moves made to survive the hard times. 2016, persisting amid domestic and external pressures. Sany reclaimed the top position in China's excavator sales. The market was engulfed in a brutal price war between foreign and domestic brands. Sany regained the leading position by sacrificing profits for market share, holding firm on pricing and expanding sales channels. Meanwhile, Liang Wengen put forward the slogan, "Embrace digital transformation, or sink without a trace." The company pushed forward digital transformation rigorously. Many senior executives who had long served the firm struggled to adapt and refused to comply, bringing about severe growing pains. Yet Liang Wengen pressed ahead resolutely to implement the initiative, leaving Sany rife with internal disputes. Looking back a decade later, digital transformation has become indispensable for all enterprises. Liang Wengen's forward-thinking vision has kept the industrial giant Sany moving steadily forward. Sany halted its losses in 2016, and signs of industry recovery began to emerge. 2017, betting on production capacity and overseas markets. As the industry showed early signs of recovery, Sany moved decisively to expand its excavator production capacity while its rivals hesitated. When market demand surged in 2017 and 2018, Sany fully reaped the dividends. The German Putzmeister brand, acquired 5 years earlier, had experienced operational setbacks. In 2017, Sany finally streamlined its technology, sales channels and management, gaining solid access to the high-end market. Sany's overseas revenue surged past 15 billion yuan. Driven by expanded capacity, booming overseas business and internal integration, Sany's performance saw explosive growth, with net profit soaring by 929% year-on-year. In the same year, Sany's Excavator Index gained wide attention. Compiled based on real-time data from networked construction machinery, the index became an important barometer of China's economic conditions, as active excavators reflected ongoing investment and economic growth. The data was managed by RootCloud, whose chairman is Liang Zheizong, the only son of Liang Wengen. Major excavator manufacturers including Caterpillar, Sany, and XM all collect operational data. On this note, the author wonders whether the data collection process indirectly compromises the buyer's personal privacy. Collecting data such as the operating status and locations of construction machinery to compile the Excavator Index does not constitute a privacy infringement under current Chinese laws. The collected data mainly consists of equipment operational information. Besides, users have granted authorization in purchase agreements, and all released data has been aggregated and desensitized. Nevertheless, compliance concerns objectively remain. Precise locations and operation trajectories can be indirectly linked to business entities and operators. Meanwhile, users have limited freedom of choice under standard contract terms, and there are also debates over excessive data collection. 2018, Digital Transformation and Harvest of Overseas Layouts. Digital transformation was fully implemented across the company. All equipment was connected to the network, production and supply chain systems were digitalized, doubling the efficiency of order processing, production scheduling and delivery, and supporting robust revenue and profit growth. Years of overseas investment began to pay off. Sany ranked first in export volume in 30 countries worldwide, turning overseas business from a growth driver into a core revenue pillar. At the end of 2018, Sany entered the heavy-duty truck market by launching internet-enabled heavy trucks, selling 12,000 units within a year and creating a new growth point for the group. Sany's total annual revenue exceeded 55 billion yuan, with a net profit of 6.1 billion yuan. 2019, over 10 billion yuan net profit and world number 1 in excavators. 2019 marked another glorious chapter for Sany. The Matthew effect became more evident. Apart from Sany, XM, and Zoomlion, most small and medium-sized brands were phased out. Sany held a market share close to or above 50% in excavators, pump trucks, and cranes across China, forming a dominant market position. Sany launched a series of unmanned equipment, including the world's first 5G-enabled unmanned excavator, unmanned mixer truck, and unmanned road roller, pioneering the unmanned era for the industry and widening its technological lead over competitors. Its market value exceeded 100 billion yuan, making it the only private enterprise in China's construction machinery sector with a market cap above this threshold. Sany's annual net profit broke the 10 billion yuan mark for the first time, reaching 11.3 to 6 billion yuan. Most importantly, Sany jumped to number 1 in the global excavator market share, securing its place among the world's top construction machinery players. In this episode, we reviewed how Sany's excavator division reversed years of losses and claimed the top position. Its success was shaped by both favorable market trends and countless setbacks. Under Liang Wengen's leadership, Sany expanded its product lines and grew from a Chinese brand to a global powerhouse. The company dared to confront and defeat a U.S. president in court. Sany's journey is filled with opportunities as well as hardships, and every near-death experience has forged its solid foundation for the future. In our next episodes, we will talk about how Sany embraces electrification and digitalization trends. We will also cover the wiretapping dispute between Sany and Zoomlion, as well as the trademark dispute between Sany and Mercedes-Benz. Stay tuned!